Greetings, Captains, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus One. I'm Lieutenant Commander Tarek of the light cruiser USS Fokker as we continue our journey to the southeast towards the Romulan Star Empire to conduct peacekeeping operations. In the last episode, we managed to square off against no less than 3 Romulan raiding vessels, 2 heavy cruisers, and a frigate, in just our little vessel, the Fokker, as well as escorted by the GCS Salo from the Gorn Confederation, a command cruiser. I was quite surprised when we managed to knock out all 3 vessels with minimal damage, so let us continue in our endeavors and head on towards the enemy border. And it looks like that a monster is rampaging through the area. Our ship recently arriving in the sector, Command called in and said your vessel is perfect to handle this problem, along with quite a bit of extras. We're fighting a large cage monster, he's armed with multiple hellbores, but also as our pals in this operation we have USS Lexington, a command cruiser, and the oh-so-gorgeous Constitution class, as well as the Mendacity, which apparently is a Lyran trading vessel who is on our side in this one, because apparently nationality knows no bounds when terrifying cage monsters rampage through space. So let us set our target and prepare to duel with him. He has no shields and he cannot repair anything that damages on him, so this should hopefully be a relatively easy mission. However, it is important to note that hellbores are a terrifying weapon. If you're just joining us for the first time for this season, I'm probably going to do this every time we run into a new weapon systems. What is a hellbore? Well, a hellbore is a very powerful weapon system that no matter where it hits on the enemy, it will always hit the weakest shield. So, the front shield is traditionally, and especially on this ship, our strongest shield. However, if he were to hit us with a hellbore, the hellbore energies would wrap around the ship and hit one of these weaker stern shields. It's not very pleasant, let me tell you. And so when we have to deal with it, well, we have to deal with it quite painfully. So let's steadily move in towards him. I'd like the Lexington to take point on this. It is, after all, a command cruiser, and yep, it has begun to engage. It has 4 photon torpedoes. Unfortunately, none of them managed to hit. We'll select our photon torpedoes, proximity mode. He has an attack shift of 2, so he's pumping out quite a bit of energy into his electronic countermeasure system. We shall pump out enough energy to stop that. And he's already started to reduce the amount of power he's putting into it. I think he's realized that we're going to stop him from being able to do that. I can't fire I won't fire photon torpedoes before I've got this attack shift down to 0, because photon torpedoes are especially weak to electronic countermeasures. Don't know why, but the sensors get all kinds of frazzled whenever we fire them into anybody who's putting out any amount of jamming. So attempting to fire a photon torpedo into an attack shift is not impossible, but you're not going to have too much luck. 2 shots from long range. We managed to get 1 hit on in, 4 damage right away. The photon torpedo always doing a consistent amount of damage, which is one of the reasons I love the weapon. Let's see if he's still trying to duel with us on jamming. Then again, he's got 2 other ships that he's probably having to deal with. And yeah, he's not doing anything with that. Neither is he, so apparently it's just us trying to see through. And there the Lexington goes, soaring around the enemy vessel, causing a nice little light amount of damage. However, oh, and there it is, the hellbore smashing into the Lexington, tearing open her weak shield from the steady firepower that it can do. Please ignore the NCC 1701. It is not the Enterprise. But it could be. If we ever get a command cruiser, we could name it the Enterprise. We probably wouldn't name it the Enterprise, but we could if we decided to. All up and select, we're about to get it within range of actual phaser firepower. Let's reduce speed just a little bit. He's doing a speed of 14, and I'd like to get within a range of 5. Oh, it looks like the photon torpedoes were getting very accurate. Two photon torpedoes managed to nail him in there. A mine there. I want to wait until my photon torpedoes are ready just so I can put as much firepower as I can in one pass. And all weapons shall fire. 1 photon torpedo hit. The other photon torpedo missed. As we poured in the rest of our firepower into him, didn't deal a ton of damage. It's possible to do more, but I say we did significant enough to cause pain and havoc. We're just going to basically sit here for the rest of the fight and blast away on into him. You do not have the maneuverability to get around. Oh, unless you do that, in which case you definitely have... Oh! And that is 3 hellbores right into us. As you can see, shields just overloaded as he slammed into us with all that energy. There was nothing we could do about it, because it doesn't matter where your defenses are. The hellbore's always going to hit the weakest one. It's a Hydran weapon traditionally, and it's a very effective one. And another hellbore on into us. We need to stay on top of these repairs. We're 5 points of energy down, and we've lost a phaser 3. I was hoping... Yep, his hellbores are out. So at least there's that. So we'll just start pulling away from him, so we don't really want to cause too much damage to ourselves here. We'll go around this mine just in case. Photon torpedoes don't have a shot. I'm going to set proximity. It's kind of a short-range shot, but guaranteed damage right there. And there, the Lexington managed to finally finish him off with his phasers, dealing all the damages that he needed to deal. And our reward is 360 prestige, which is always lovely. They always pay out quite well for monsters, and that'll allow us to drift on right on into the final territory. We are finally on the border. The Romulan neutral zone awaits. Currently saving up about 1,800 prestige so that we can pick up a heavy command cruiser. Well, not a heavy command cruiser, just a normal command cruiser. Federation doesn't do things in heavies. And we've got a scan or convoy escort. I'm going to regret this, but we're going to go on a convoy escort mission. We normally hate doing this. The convoy escort missions are, well, they're painful. Working through them is a lesson in patience and frustration, which apparently will not be super frustrating this time. Normally, in the past, whenever we went on a convoy mission, it would always be like 2 heavy cruisers from multiple angles trying to hit the convoy from all over. But this time it appears there is just 1 frigate currently engaging, and we are escorting an armed priority transport, a small merchantman. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that merchantman before. The Trust No One. Haha, that's why it's the Trust No One. It's a Q-ship armed with 2 photon torpedoes. Oh, and 6... Is that 5 or 6? 4 phaser ones. Okay. She's basically just as well as equipped as we are. Slightly less phaser firepower, but more in the 3s and better point defense. And another Q-ship, the F-007. I see what this is about. This was a trap all along. See, this frigate has been marauding through the space lanes this entire time. He's been causing havoc for Transport Command, and Transport Command is finally sick of it. It's managed to scrounge up not 1, but 2 Q-ships. And just to add some verisimilitude to the whole ensemble, they've thrown in our little light cruiser, just to sort of guarantee, hey, this is a real convoy. You should believe this is a real convoy. Send a probe, find out exactly what we're dealing with, make sure we get the proper emission scans on him. He's equipped with 2 extended magazine missile launchers and a single disruptor. If he keeps the fire up, he could hurt that armed priority transport, but we're not going to let him do that, because we're going to hit him like a truck. And if I had... I really wish I had overloaded the photon torpedoes for this pass. It would deal 32 damage if both photon torpedoes managed to hit. Unfortunately, it shall not be. Let's put all additional reinforcements in the forward shield, please. That's a scatter pack. That's a scatter pack. That's... And tractor beams on. We'll come in here and try and take them out as best as we can. We need to protect the armed freighter. We've managed to grab 2 missiles in this, and oh, please tell me he used a wild weasel. Okay, that works. We just got to keep these missiles away from the freighter. And I am going to hold on to these for good luck. And we will plink them off. Oh, we got to get him away from the armed priority transport. The armed priority transport is having a bad day. But we're about to come in with a nice traditional Federation fire and pass. Unfortunately, some of our phasers, had to be put into him. He is turning hard to try and spread out the damages. However, we have bored through yet another shield and have placed ourselves conveniently on his stern. Our forward shield did manage to hold against his triple return fire volley. Unfortunately, we're now facing him with a fairly weak shield. But the Trust No One and the 007 are pulling in on position on him. And I think he realizes the trap is sprung. I don't have anything to deal with this. Oh, that's a lot of missile. So I really wish that I had an opportunity to shoot that off, but we didn't. And the Trust No One has dumped his wild weasel, it would appear. So we'll shut off our defenses there, and long range, not really long range, 7.3 isn't super long range, but a nice little decently ranged shot in through a downed shield. And photon torpedoes still not yet ready to engage. We're still about a full turn away from that happening, but some light phaser 3 fire finally able to lance the point defense lasers right on into him. Lasers? No, phasers. Nobody uses lasers. That would be ridiculous. We'll suddenly... Oh, we have a good angle. The phaser ones will be able to fire right through this down shield, hopefully before he gets an opportunity, and right there. And with that, we've managed to successfully escort this convoy. They will be heading home with no ill repercussions. Excellent work, everybody. Yep, the armed priority transport that desperately needed to get through has gotten through, and 336 prestige is our reward for a job well done. Let's set out into the neutral zone, do a little bit of long-range scouting, and a convoy raid this time. Honestly, Not psyched about this. Convoy raids are not exactly what I think we're well equipped to do. We see a freighter, a frigate, a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, a freighter. Okay, so we've got a frigate. Any of these Q ships, that would be important to know. So we've got the FLG Stella, the FT-1, the PT-3, an F-2T, an FSML. So just the FLG Stella, which I think might be phasers only. As soon as the phaser capacitor is charged, that'll tell us that the probes are ready to go, and we will open fire with one of our probes to find out exactly what the Stella has. But I'm fairly certain FLGs are phaser frigates. So our probe has been launched away. We are in a chase position. This is going to be kind of difficult. And we are being escorted today by the Goblin. The Goblin is, of course, stealthing his way in. He is equipped with no less than 2 Plasma F torpedoes, which is a pretty significant amount of firepower. Wow, the Stella has... The Stella, a Scepter, yep, only mounting 4 phaser 1s. So we should be able to get in here and cause massive amounts of pain and havoc. Let's pick up the speed, make sure that we get within range so that the enemy cannot get away. I'm really tempted to overload the plasma torpedo, or the photon torpedoes. Keep calling them plasma torpedoes. They ain't. They don't operate like that at all. So we have a decent knowledge of the Stella Scepter. She does have pretty good shields, actually. However, hopefully the Goblin will be able to whittle those away. We have even more power, and this is the full speed. So let's pick up the speed of time since we are going as fast as we possibly can. And I trust and believe the Goblin will take care of things while we cut through this formation and wipe out as many of these freighters as we possibly can. Now, this freighter will be the weakest and the easiest to kill. These two are armored freighters, and I think this one is as well. Yep, they're the slightly well-armored, annoying, and difficult to destroy freighters. So we're going to have to use cunning, wiliness, and just outright firepower. And it looks like the Goblin has already engaged one of the freighters. Oh, managed to cause quite a decent amount of damage. The Pantorum, the 28th. Photon torpedoes, please. Thank you. We wasted a photon torpedo there, but we did manage to kill him in one pass. We will now turn off towards the PT-3, which hopefully is not equipped with too much. How is this FLG doing? He's basically still at full shields. The Goblin is struggling, having a little bit of a difficult time, but he did manage to stop the FT-2 for a short period, which is kind of all we really needed to do. We're going to set as much additional power as we can into the forward shield. That way we can defend better against the oncoming PT-3 attacks, which no doubt will happen quite shortly. We're going to set up right out on his stern. He's equipped only with phaser 3s, so we're just going to pull up right behind him, stay just outside his range. Just outside his range. Oh, God, we're going to take a hit here. Hi. That's what we were expecting, but he did it, so now we can fire without fear of repercussions. And there, continuing to plow the fire in. We'll let him pull out to just beyond a range of 3. That way he can't shoot into us anymore. And then we'll just track him with the phasers. Because I don't think they're heading towards us. Yeah, they're still dueling, and they're just going to let me sit here and do this. Slow down a little bit more, let him pass outside of a range of 3. That way we can engage him, and he can't engage us. Phasers are ready to rock. We've managed to dent a couple of things, and we are on course and ready to go. Ready, steady, open fire. Knocked out a couple of systems. Have destroyed one of his phaser 3s and taken out his shuttle bay. We're just going to sit here. Yeah, this is the plan. Then we're going to have to zip on over here and do as much damage as we can to him. And then we'll come back for the FT-1. Although the FT-1 has been taking pretty significant damage from the Goblin. Hopefully the Goblin will survive long enough for us to take out the whole group. So let's fire the photon torpedoes one at a time. That was a miss. That was a hit. So we do have a 1 hit and 1 miss at this point. He is still surviving, though. He's not quite dead yet. Phasers are ready for a full barrage right there. And now he's taking the damage. Let's pull him within a range of 3 here. There we go. Phaser 3's managed to do the mop-up, and on to the next target. It's going to take us a little while to get our weapon systems back online, so I'm going to shamelessly steal from every other weapon system so that we can actually get over there in time. How are we doing on time here? We still not seeing the border yet, so that is good. However, once we do start to see the border, things are going to accelerate quite quickly. Let's pull right on in with him. Slow down the speed of time. Hi, I'm right here with you as he blasts away into our shields. All up and select. Managed to cut on through. Let's slow way down. We need to let him outside of our range. So oh, never mind. He's lost all of his phasers. Pull right up with him. Stay right on top of him. We're just going to sit here. Photon torpedo. And another good shot in there. He's down to a speed of 7. Just a little bit more firepower and we'll finally be able to wipe him completely out. Should take only 1 more salvo. Let's increase the speed of time. Oh, he got close. He did get pretty close. Speed back to normal. Phasers managed to do the final takeout. This is the last vessel in the entire convoy, so we're going to slowly come around. Hi, Goblin. How you doing? Can I see you? The Goblin is not having a good day. It is basically the Goblin and... So we've got 3 ships left. The Goblin is friendly, so we don't have to kill him. Although, hopefully you're out of missiles by this point. I hope, I pray, I believe. I think I want to do a strength 2 beam hold. The reason I want to do this is, 1, it makes my photon torpedoes more accurate, and 2, I can start pulling him away from the edge of the map, which is reasonably important to me, actually, because I don't want you to be able to escape. Almost ready for a full shot. He has opened fire with his weapon systems, and give me a tractor beam. That worked out really nicely, actually. So on to the Stella Acceptor. Let us, oh, we're no longer charging the tractor beam. Excellent. So we're just going to charge up the weapon systems and then get on in there. Goblin is having a bad day. He's not traveling at any speed at all. He still has both of his plasma torpedoes, but he doesn't have his phaser 1s, and that's probably telling something. Let's pick up the speed. We don't have to worry about him from the amount of firepower that he can deal out, because, well, he only has 4 phaser 1s. But he is pretty well defended, as we've seen. So we're going to come on in here. Our photon torpedoes will be ready to rock by the time we get there, and good thing too, because this is a duel now. Us and him, and unfortunately, he's got some point defense electronic countermeasures that we're going to have to deal with. All up in select, prepared to knock him down. His attack shift is 0 at this time, so point blank range, let him fire, and there we go. Managed to badly maul his forward shields. I do believe that he has 360-degree coverage with these phasers, so I won't have an angle where I can just sit at and he won't be able to shoot me back, I think. If he fires his phaser relatively shortly, we'll know for sure. Let's slow down. We do, of course, need to be able to defend ourselves, and I'm going to go 1 point of electronic countermeasure. That way we are defended in some manner. He is now trying to put a little bit of energy into his own electronic countermeasures. However, hopefully we're going to deny him the ability to do that. He is chugging along at a speed of 19.5, which is pretty impressive for a ship like this, especially trying to charge so many countermeasures. And yep, he's now trying to have to deal with our ECM, trying to keep that under control as he plinks away with his phasers. And I don't have an attack shift right now, so I may as well open fire as soon as I hit a range of 5. He is reinforcing this shield, unfortunately, which will make things just a little bit more difficult, and he stopped reinforcing it. Attack shift of 0, so phasers punch on through. We got a hole. We've managed to bore a hole in his vessel already, and as we come around, our photon torpedoes should get a nice couple of shots into his stern, and I do believe we'll be outside the range for self-hurting. Unfortunately, the attack shift is 1, so I can't fire when he's attack shifting 1. So we'll put more energy into this. Hopefully, we will get the attack shift down before he pulls out of distance. There it is. 2 photon torpedoes, both slammed right on into him. Weakened his shield down to red level, so we can start messing around with the electronic countermeasures a bit more. Mainly because we need to stop him from being able to, well, do stuff to us. We're shooting into an attack shift of 1. I don't want to do that. We're going to wait, see if we can't do something about it. Long-range phaser fire has managed to knock out his rear shield down to red. So basically, he had triple green shields on a couple of shields. We've taken all of those triple greens away and weakened him down, so he's only got 1 shield at bright yellow. So we're doing pretty good. He's now putting 3 points of energy into his electronic countermeasures. We're going to have to answer, because I need to keep him under control. And we may not be the best vessel in the world, but well, we still have 3 points of energy. So let's get a little bit more speed going on here, as long as he wants to try and run away from me. Let's be aggressive with this, because if he keeps running away from me, I'm just going to wait, and then when he comes back for me, we will rip him apart. I don't know if he realizes this yet. So we've managed to take out his attack shift. And you know what? I'm going to fire these in proximity mode. We got 1 good hit on him, and if he's just going to stay there at high speed, long range, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to blink away, because I can outshoot him pretty considerably. Alright, if he's not charging anything in ECM, we can take that away from there, and that'll give us more power for the rest of the ship. He's blasting away at my forward shield, not able to cut through just yet, though. He is managing to keep this shield towards us, which is important. And yep, most of our power is back to where we need it. That's within range. So there we go. We've knocked out his stern shield. So all of his shields are down to either red or gone. We're about to come in within range of the phaser 3s, and another couple of shots, 5 damage on in through. And we are still trying to keep up with him. He's not doing anything into the electronic countermeasures anymore. He's still doing a speed of 29.3, which is considerable. However, we are frankly in a better position, mainly because we have heavy weapons and he doesn't, and he no longer has a shield advantage. He is maintaining a speed advantage, don't get me wrong, and now he's trying to counter us on electronic countermeasures. We're going to put more points of power into this. Oh, he knocked out our forward shield. Not great. However, ooh, now he's making us fire into an attack shift. So, one into there, one into there. We need to take this attack shift away before we open fire. There it is. So, blasting on through. Photon torpedoes are ready to go, but we don't have the angle just yet. Come on, give me that angle. Because they're on the wrong setting. Normal photon torpedo. Unfortunately, the photon torpedo wasn't able to get an accurate shot off on there. We are still facing him with our down shield, which is not great. So we'll go 2 over here, just to try and alleviate some of that. And I want to pull him around so this shield is facing towards him. That way he can't deal too much damage to me. Forward shield is back up. We are reinforcing it by 6 points of energy. Phasers are ready to go, so as soon as I've got them fully recycled, there we go. Another blast on through his shields. He's down 14 damage right there. Starting to lose systems, or at least they're shocking offline. That's important. Photon torpedo, we've got a good shot. Unfortunately, it didn't manage to get through. Able to punish him a little bit more. We're just steadily boring on into him. Yeah, he's getting a couple of shots on through, but he's not getting past our armor, and that's the important part. We're able to get in. Another phaser 3 blast. 3 more damage. He's down to a speed of 19, and he's steadily starting to lose systems. We're about to have more phasers to come back online to hit it right through that shield some more. Doesn't appear like he's able to charge his countermeasure systems anymore. Oh, speed is tumbling now. Look at that. Down to 10. He still has all of his phasers up, though, so we are going to have to be mindful of that. Photon torpedo. There we go. Finally got a photon torpedo in. He's down to a speed of 6. The belt armor is holding, and the forward shields are back. So we will be able to turn right back on into him again. Try and get more phasers on target. Can you imagine if we actually had to tangle with this guy and didn't immediately go for the convoy? We would have lost. Luckily, we had the Goblin with us. Oh, a great couple of shots in there. He's down to a speed of 4. Let's drop speed more. And there we go. The convoy and her entire escort completely wiped down by our fantastic operations. So well done, everybody. Hopefully that'll be like 6,000 prestige and we can immediately buy as big a ship as we want. 292, I suppose we'll take it. We're at 1779. Ooh, hi, shipyard. What's the cheapest ship you'll sell me? A little bit more expensive than I can handle, because supply, I could sell this for 474. So we unfortunately appear to be one mission away from being able to afford a CC+, which is what we want. Oh boy, do we want this vessel. This is everything we want right now. I'm desperately looking forward to it. Unfortunately, that's going to have to wait for another episode. I have been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment. How are you enjoying this campaign so far? Better than Season 1? I sure hope so. And I will see you all in the next episode.